So, hello students, welcome to Vedanta Unit English. This is Baswaraj sir, your biology master teacher. So, quickly let me know in the chat if I'm audible and visible to each and every one of you. Now, students, this is a second lecture from the organism and population. In the first lecture, we learned about your population ecology, that is your different types of growth models, logistic and exponential. And we also learned about organism and environment, where we learned about different type of factors, abiotic factors which influence the population: soil, temperature, water, light. Then we also learned about factors affecting abiotic factors, and also at the end we also learned about adaptations in the first lecture. Now what will we do in the second lecture, students? In the second lecture, our main focus is going to be population interaction. Now, what is population interaction? Are they interacting? How are they interacting? Who is benefiting? Who is under loss? All of these concepts, such as your mutualism, predation, competition, parasitism, all these concepts in today's video. So let me know in the chat if you're excited for today's lecture, because it is going to be a very crisp lecture. And before I start today's session, I want everyone to carry three main things. The first thing is your NCERT should be with you. The second thing is you need to have a pen. And the third thing is you need to have a water bottle. Carry these three things, sit in the class, attend the class, and learn. Every single time you have a doubt, you can shoot the doubt in the comment section also. Okay. Now, can I start the class with a simple question? Can I start a class, students, with the most simple question? Very simple question. Can we go? Now, the simple question is that a population, is it made up of a single species or many species? Go in the chat, all of you, quickly. What is population made up of? What is population made up of? Is population made up of a single species or multiple species? When I say a population of humans, a single species. When I say a population of a tiger, single species. When I say a population of a snake, frog, insect, a single species is involved. So always remember, every single time I mention about a population, it is always a single species, not many species. A single species when I talk about population. Absolutely correct, all of you. Absolutely correct. Now, students, when I say a group of population, or when I say population, or when I say community, okay. Now, community or population, do we have a single organism? No. We have multiple organisms. Now, if I take all of you, all the students are watching live, and I trap all of you in a single room, will you talk to each other? Tell me now. If I take all the students and lock you in one room, will you talk to each other? Yes, you will talk. You're like, what is sir doing? You will talk with each other. Some of you will become friends also. Yes. So that is called as interaction also, to some extent. That is called as verbal interaction will happen. Okay. So same thing is happening in the case of animals also. Within a population, there is an interaction. Between a population also, there is interaction. A tiger is interacting with a deer, but their interaction is deadly little. Okay, not like your interaction. Their interaction is a deadly interaction they have. Okay, a bird is interacting with a seed. A snake is interacting with a frog. So this is called as a deadly interaction which is found. Okay. Now, I will read the lines of NCERT. You also read and let me know in the chat if you have any doubt anywhere. Okay. Can you think of any natural habitat on Earth that is inhabited by just a single species? Not possible. Always found in groups. Okay. There is no such habitat and such a situation even in inconceivable. For many species, the minimal requirement is one. See, the minimum requirement is one one more species on which it can feed on. Okay, for example, in an ecosystem, if I have a snake here, in the same ecosystem, I will also have a frog. Why? Because a snake can eat a frog. So in this entire group, entire community, we can have two species where one is feeding on the other one. Okay. Even a plant species which makes its own food cannot survive alone. See, even the plants cannot survive alone. Why, students? Why plants cannot survive alone? The main reason is because they need microbes in the soil fertility. For example, if they need to do pollination in the flowering plants, they need pollinators. I know they can pollinate by wind and water and everything, but they need insects for pollination. Yes, they need. Okay. So plants also cannot stay alone. it needs soil microbes to break down the organic matter in the soil and return the inorganic nutrients for absorption. And then how will the plants manage pollination without the animal agent? It is obvious that in nature, animals, plants, and microbes do not and cannot live isolation but interact in various ways to form biological community. Even in the minimal communities, many interactive linkages exist, although all may not be readily apparent. So you might not be able to see them readily, but there are always some form of connections going on in the entire nature. Okay, so I believe the first statement is clear to all of you. Very easy statement, very first paragraph. Now, interspecific interaction. Okay, interspecific interaction arise when the interaction of population of two different species. So interspecific interaction means two species are interacting, a tiger and a deer interacting. Okay, they could be beneficial, detrimental, or even neutral. So when two of the parties are interacting, for example, Dikshi and Sonia are interacting, they can become friends, beneficial. They can become enemies, it can be detrimental, means difficult, or they can be neutral, they don't care about each other. So when every single time two species are interacting, there is always one beneficial, neutral, or harmful. Three things are possible. Okay, three things are possible. They could be beneficial, detrimental, or neutral, neither harm or benefit in one of the species or both. Assigning a plus sign for the beneficial interaction, minus sign for the detrimental, and 0 for one neutral interaction. We have a table here, that is mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, commensalism, amensalism. Now students, each individual one can also be asked as a 1-mark question. Always they'll ask you, that is the specific signs. For example, in the case of mutualism, examples we'll learn later on, but in the case of mutualism, both the species are benefited. I will also benefit, you will also benefit. In the case of mutualism, plus plus. In the case of competition, neither of them are benefited. Okay. In the case of predation, one is benefited and one is harmed. For example, a lion is chasing a tiger. So the lion is chasing a tiger, that is competition. Okay. A lion is chasing, for example, a deer. Lion is benefiting, deer is harmed, it is dying. Okay. Now in the case of parasitism also, one is benefited, other one is harmed. In here, both are harmed actually. Okay. Commensalism, one is benefited, another one is neutral. In the case of amensalism, one is harmed, other one is neutral. Now this particular paragraph you need to remember at any cost. Many questions will come from here. Many questions will come from here at this paragraph. A small table given to you. Okay. Now students, we'll play a small game now. Okay, we'll play a small game. Ready? Now I'll give you 5 seconds. I'll give you 5 seconds to read it. And after that, I'll give you, okay, let's say 10 seconds. I'll give you 10 seconds. After that, I'll ask you a question. You're supposed to tell me in the chat, or if you're watching it recorded, try answering the question. Okay. Now, I'll give you 10 seconds. Time starts now. Go. Your time starts now, all of you. Time starts now. Take 20 seconds. Take 20 seconds. Take 20 seconds. Tell me once you're done. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay. Tell me, what kind of sign do you see in the case of mutualism? First simple question. In mutualism, what do you see? Tell me. Plus, minus, minus, plus, plus, 0, plus, minus, minus, minus. In the case of mutualism, we see plus, plus. Okay, plus, plus. In the case of mutualism, both are benefited in the case of mutualism. Okay, both are benefited. The next question. What exactly happens in the case of commensalism? Tell me. What exactly happens in the case of commensalism? In the case of commensalism, one is benefited, other one is motte or minus. Commensalism, motte. That is neutral. Okay. So one is benefited, other one is neutral. Now tell me what exactly happens in the case of competition. Competition, both are harmed. Minus, minus. Competition is minus, minus, both are harmed. Okay, when tiger and leopard are fighting for food, both are harmed in the competition. Okay, now tell me, what about in the case of amensalism? In the case of amensalism, go. What exactly happens in the case of amensalism? In amensalism, one is affected, harmed, other one is neutral. Other one is neutral in the case of amensalism. Students, all of these are very important for you. Okay, so understand this table and remember it for exam point of view, because direct 4 marks question will come from here. All the questions are 4 marks only, but okay. So you can get direct questions from here. So if that is clear to all of you, quickly smash that like button, all of you, and let's go to the next paragraph. Okay. Now, both the species benefit, that is mutualism, parasitism, predation, commensalism. Commensalism, amensalism. Okay. Now, with that being said, students, if I show you this image, tell me what comes to your mind. If I show you this image, what is the first thing which is coming to your mind? Tell me. This image right here. Tell me what is the first thing which is coming to your mind right now. If I show you this image, tell me quickly, all of you. If I show you this image right now, what is coming to your mind? Cute bird, okay. Cute sparrow, okay. It can fly. Endangered species, okay. It is eating some seeds, okay. Apart from that, what is coming to your mind? Tell me. If I show you this photo and I ask you, do you think this is predation? Tell me your answer now. If I say this is a predation, did any of you come to your mind? Predation? Okay. If I show you this image and tell me what comes to your mind now. If I show you this image, tell me what is coming to your mind right now. If I show you this image, okay. One lioness is interacting with a deer. It is fighting for its life, and this is enjoying a nice, trying to kill it and everything. The food is ready for it. Now this is predation. What if I tell you this also is predation here? That is, in this case, a lion is interacting with a deer and it is harming, it is eating it. But at the same time, this cute bird, don't go by the looks, do not go by the looks here, I'm telling you again. This cute bird is eating the seed, is eating the seed. That also is predation. Predation. Okay, I'll ask you one more image. All of you know pandas, right? All of you know pandas. Now imagine a panda is eating a bamboo. A panda is eating a bamboo. Is that also predation now, students? Tell me. Yes, it is. It is predation. Because it is eating other animal, other organism. It is predation. So can I tell right now, herbivores are also predators. Herbivores are also predators, students. Now tell me, is that statement understanding by everyone? Herbivores are also predators. So always remember, not just the carnivores, even the herbivores are also predators. Fix that in your mind about predators before we start now. Okay, so even herbivores as well as carnivores, both of them are equally a predator. It's the only difference is it is eating animal, it is eating plants, but nevertheless, one is benefited, other one is harmed. One is benefited, other one is harmed. Okay, that is called as your predation. It is called as predation. Hello, Jinsley. Hello, Crazy. Now, what would happen if all the energy fixed by the autotrophic organisms, if community has no animals to eat the plants, plants will keep on growing. They'll keep on growing. You can think of a predation as nature's way of transferring to the higher trophic level the energy fixed by the plants. I'll come back to the statement. Okay, we'll come back to the statement. Now, when we think about predators and prey, we mostly think that tiger and a deer, that is readily comes to our mind. Now, why, students? Because of National Geography. Because of National Geography, it is coming to your mind. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay. Now, but a sparrow eating a seed is no less than a predator. It may look cute but deadly it is. Cute but deadly. Okay. Cute but deadly. Although animals eating plants are categorized as herbivores, they are in a broad ecological context not very different from the predators. Both of them are predators. Both of them are predators. Okay. Now, students, next thing which I have to teach you is, what is the benefits of predation? Many questions have come from here. Is there any benefits, students? Can anyone think of any benefits for predation? Is there any advantage to predation? Yes, there are multiple advantages. I will teach you one by one. I want everyone to write it in front of your book right now. If this is your book, NCRT, right side of your NCRT, there's some spaces there, no? Make use of it and write down the points which I'll tell you now. Okay? Now, besides acting as a conduits for energy transfer, conduit means the medium for energy transfer across trophic level. So first advantage, the first advantage of your predation is what? Energy transfer. Is your energy transfer. Now what do I mean by energy transfer, students? Understand. Here I have a plant. Here I have a plant. Okay. Here I have a plant here. Now this plant is eaten up by your, let's say, insect. Insect is eaten by a frog. Frog is eaten by a snake. Okay. Now when this food chain is happening, is this predation? Yes. Insect is eating the plant, predation. Frog is eating the insect, predation. Snake is eating the frog, also predation. In this predation, is there energy transfer? 10%, like all of you know, right? So what is happening? Because of predation, there is transfer of energy all the way from the plants to the higher trophic level. There is transfer of energy. Transfer of energy is happening. So the first advantage of your predation is energy transfer. Is that point clear to all of you? There is transfer of energy is happening here. Okay, transfer of energy. Next, let's read. Okay, predators play an important role. They keep the prey population under control. The second point is keep the prey population under control. Understand what is the meaning of this? Understand, friends. Now, same example. What if the snake is suddenly disappears in an ecosystem? In an ecosystem, if the snake disappears, what will happen? Tell me, students. If a snake completely disappears from an ecosystem, there will be a increase in the population of a frog. Yes, there will be increase in population of frog. Why? Because there is no predators. No one is checking the growth of frog. So frog is growing. Now, since frog is able to grow a lot of frogs need a lot of food. So indirectly they will decrease the population of insects because more frogs, they need more food. So insect population is reducing. If insect population is reducing, plants are able to grow properly now. Yes. Just because of one predator, just because a top predator is missing, that is causing the entire ecological imbalance. Yes or no? It is causing the entire ecological imbalance now because of one predator is being missed now. Yes. So that is the importance of predator. It will keep the prey population under control. Okay. See here. They keep the prey population under control, but for predators, prey species could achieve very high population density. See, prey population will reach very high density and cause ecosystem instability. Ecosystem instability can happen. This is called as ecosystem instability. Frog population can go high, insect population can go low, plants can go high. Ecological instability can cause. So they keep the prey population under control. Very important point for all of you to understand. Okay. Now, when a certain exotic species are introduced into a geographical area, they have given you an example now. They have given an example for this one. Example for this one now. Example is given in NCRT. Example. Understand the example now. Okay. When a certain exotic species, the meaning of exotic species is what? Meaning of exotic species is foreign species. It is coming from somewhere else. Okay. Foreign species are introduced into a geographical area. They become invasive and start spreading fast. Obviously, for example, we'll go back to the same example. Okay, we'll go back to the same example. Now here I have, this is Mexico. This is Mexico. Here I have India. Okay, here India and Mexico. Okay, Mexico here and India here. Okay. Can anyone tell me Mexico comes under which type of continent? Go. Now from Mexico, I'm transporting a frog. From Mexico, I'm transporting a frog to India. Okay. Transporting a frog to India. Now this frog, when it comes to India, this frog population is able to grow very high. Very high. It will keep on multiplying. Why? Because to this frog, there is no snake available here. Obviously, no one is eating the frog, so the population of frog will increase exponentially when it comes to India. Here it is normal, but as soon as it comes to India, the population is increasing. There are two more examples, such as one example is water hyacinth. All of you know, right? The terror of Bengal. The water hyacinth kept on growing because of there was no predator, and also it was growing under vegetative propagation. That is a different story. Parthenium also, when it came to India, it kept on growing because there is no predator to suppress the activity. Now students, tell me, what can you do? What is the remedy for this? How can you control the frog population now? Tell me. From here, I got a frog from here to India, exotic species, population is growing a lot. Now I don't want the population to grow so much. I want to keep the population under control now. Like, wait a minute, population enough. I have enough of frog. What do I do that time now? Tell me. What is the best way to counter the growth of frog now? For example, if I tell you, in Mexico, there is a snake here. There is a snake here which is eating the frog. Now what do? Take the snake. Take the snake. Parcel it to India now. Yes or no? See, we got the frog. There is no natural predator for the frog. What do? We can take the snake, import to India. Now in India also we have the snake and we have the frog. The snake will start eating the frog and population will be under control. Done. Population under control. It makes sense to all of you. So this is the case of typical case of bringing exotic animals into India. Okay, it's given here. See, when a certain exotic species are introduced into a geographical area, they become invasive and start spreading fast because invaded land does not have its natural predator. When the frog came from Mexico to India, it did not have a natural predator, and henceforth the frog started growing and dividing, multiplying. The best example given you in NCERT is PPC example. The example given you in NCERT is PPC. PPC. The frog example is for you to understand, but NCERT gives an example called as PPC example. Okay. What is PPC? That is prickly pear. Prickly pear cactus. It is your prickly pear cactus. Prickly pear cactus. The example given in your NCERT for keeping the prey population under control. It's an exotic plant which was bought. Okay. So prickly pear cactus introduced in Australia. It was introduced in Australia in early 1920s. Caused havoc by spreading rapidly into millions of hectares of land. Why? Because there was no control. There was no check. Okay. By spreading rapidly into millions of hectares of rangeland. Finally, the invasive cactus was brought under control only after a cactus feeding predator, see, moth from the natural habitat was also introduced into the country. So this is the thing. So to counter the prickly pear cactus in its natural habitat, we also got a moth. We also got a moth along with it. Okay. So it is very difficult. Always remember, if there is no predator, the entire imbalance can happen. Energy transfer will not happen. Entire ecosystem can be destroyed. So predators are important. Entire predators are important. Okay. Now, biocontrol methods adopted in agriculture. You learned about it in biotechnology and also in microbes chapter, right? The ladybug, dragonfly, all the mosquito eating, all that. Based on the availability of predator to regulate the prey population. Predators also help in maintaining species diversity in a community. No, next point is next advantage. Third advantage is maintain species diversity. Now you'll ask me, sir, how? How will they help in How will they help in maintaining the species diversity? You might think, right, how are they maintaining the species diversity? Now the question will come to your mind, like, how, sir? How predators, they eat everything? The predators eat everything. How are they able to maintain the species diversity? Let me tell you a simple example. All of you watched the movie King Kong, no? Tell me. All of you watched the movie King Kong in your life. The King Kong, the large gorilla. Okay, if you don't know King Kong, you know the T-Rex, the big dinosaur T-Rex, big dinosaurs, T-Rex is there, no? You might have seen about T-Rex also. Now imagine there is a large forest. Okay, every forest has a main boss called as the king of the forest. Okay, now I'm not taking lion as an example. I'm taking the king. Let's say there is a big animal. Let's take lion only, for example. Lion is called as the king of the jungle and is the top boss. And every other animal is always fearful of the lion. They're fearful of lion, and as soon as the lion comes, they're like, okay, lion is coming, we'll be quiet. Okay, lion is the king of the jungle. Now in this forest, lion is at the top and every other organism is bottom. Okay, so when a lion is present at the top, the species will not fight among each other for the top position. See, it's very natural. Everyone wants to be at the top of everything, right? Yes or no? So when lion is the top apex predator, the small animals will not fight with each other for the top position. They'll not fight for the top position. Now what if suddenly the lion is gone? What if suddenly the lion disappears? If lion is disappearing, all the different small individual organisms will start fighting with each other. Why? For the top position now. Because everyone wants to be the king. Yes or no? If lion is missing, the jaguar will say, I'll become the king of the forest. Cheetah will say, I'll become the king of the forest. Jaguar will say, I'll become the king of the forest. Yes or no? So a predator, a apex predator will make sure the entire species diversity is maintained. If apex predator is absent, it is missing, there will be fight among the other small animals. Okay, so apex predator is always important. Apex predator is always important. Okay, now see here. Apex predator also helps in maintaining the species diversity in a community by reducing the intensity of competition among the competing prey species. It will reduce. Now in the there's example here. Example given. Okay, example for maintaining species diversity. See the example. Live example is given in NCERT. Okay, in a rocky intertidal communities of American Pacific coast, a starfish, they have a starfish here. Okay, they have a starfish here. The example is a starfish called as Pisaster. There is a starfish called as your Pisaster or Pisaster. Okay, Pisaster is a starfish in an important predator. It is an important predator. This is our boss here. Okay, in a field experiment, when all the starfish were removed from the enclosed intertidal area, so as soon as the main boss went missing, as soon as the starfish went missing, more than 10 species of invertebrates became extinct within a year. Why? Because all these invertebrates started fighting with each other, right, in a year, because of the interspecific competition. So having the main apex predator is always important, and this is an example, that is a starfish example given your NCERT, and this has been a NEET PYQ. This has been a NEET PYQ in recent years. This was a NEET PYQ question. How can predation help in maintaining the species diversity? Students, you might think all this is very small. The reason I'm doing line by line of NCERT is because every single line be a potential question. You never know. Okay, you might think predation is all about, deer eating on tiger eating a deer. No. So always remember, students, the advantages of your predation is energy transfer, keeping the prey population under control, and the third one is what? Third one is maintaining species diversity. Okay, maintaining the species diversity. Three main points, please remember. Okay, now If the predator is too efficient, that is prudent, and overexploits its prey, what will happen? Tell me, students. If there are 100 deer in an area in a forest, and there are 3 tigers, the 3 tigers are eating the entire 100 deers in 1 month, will there be a problem? Yes. For example, I am giving you, yeah, it happens to you also, no? You are leaving, your mother and your mom and dad are going out of the town. They're going out of the town and they're leaving you behind. When they're leaving you behind, they will give you 100 rupees or they'll give you 500 rupees for 3 days survival. Now what will you do? Do you spend entire 500 rupees in one day only? One day you order pizza, burger, everything maja full you do in one day only? Or do you plan accordingly? You're like 150 rupees one day, 150 rupees second day, and third day little bit fun I will do, 200 rupees on the third day. Do you plan like that, or do you spend the entire money at one go? All of you plan, right? All of you plan. 150 rupees the first day, 150 rupees the second day, 300 rupees gone. I have 200 left and I will spend the 200 in the last day. Okay, so you'll plan like that. You'll plan. Okay, same planning is done by predators also. See here, if prey, then the prey might become extinct, and following the predators will also become extinct lack of food. This is the reason why predators in the nature are prudent. It means they are very sustainable. Like how you are planning, no, for 3 days, how you want to eat. Your predator is also going to plan properly. Like, if I eat all the deers in 1 month, I will have nothing left. So I will plan accordingly. They'll sit, they'll make a timetable, roadmap they'll make. They'll make a roadmap how to eat. Okay. Now, it's called a prudent. Prey species have evolved various defense mechanisms. Obviously, the prey is like, you eat me, I will stay quiet. Huh? No. The prey will be like, wait a minute, you're trying to eat me, I will fight back. Obviously, students, if someone is scolding you, you'll make one face, you'll make no. If I'm scolding you, you'll make a face. Yes. So predators also, prey also, when they're trying to be eaten, they're being eaten, they will fight back. Okay, they'll fight back. The prey species have evolved various defenses to lessen the impact of predators. Some species of insects and frogs are cryptically colored. It means they can camouflage. I'll show you an example. They can camouflage. I'll show you an example. See here. Look at this frog. It is completely camouflaging with the environment where it is not seen by the a snake can barely see this now. Okay, and to avoid being detected easily by a predator. Some poisonous and therefore avoided by the predators. Some of them become poisonous. One example they have given, the monarch butterfly. Very important example coming up. Very important example. The monarch butterfly. The monarch butterfly is highly distasteful to predators because the special chemical present in its body. Interestingly, the butterfly acquires this chemical during its caterpillar stage by feeding on the poisonous weed. So it is very distasteful. It is blah blah. Okay, so it is very distasteful. It is very bad taste. So our predators will not go and eat the butterfly. They know. See, imagine I will give you one special drink. Okay, I will mix random things and I'll give you. First time you will trust me and you will drink nicely. Oh, sir has given something. Now second time I will give you the same thing. I will give you one bitter gourd juice. Will you drink it second time? You're like, no. You'll become suspicious. Sir, this is very bitter. I can't drink this. Same thing happens with predators. First time they will eat the butterfly and they'll realize this butterfly is no. Out of the boundary, it cannot taste. Very bad taste. So predators will say, not for me. Okay. So example is very important here also. Example is very important. Okay. So this is the frog camouflaged. Now, for plants, herbivores are predators. Obviously, nearly 25% of the all insects are known to be phytophagous. That is feeding on seed. Okay, feeding on plant sap and other parts of the seed. That is parts of the plant. The problem is particularly severe for the plants. Why, students? Why predators is very difficult for the plants? Tell me. Because one lion is coming, deer is there. Lion is seeing the deer. Will the deer stay there only like, please come and eat me? No. The deer will start running. But plants, students, plants, imagine papa plants, okay? They don't have an option to run only. The plant is standing there. An insect is coming. Started infecting the plant body. The plant has to stay there only. Location is fixed. They can't even run away. So it is very difficult for the plants. Okay. The problem is particularly severe for the plants. Unlike animals, they cannot run away from their predators. Plants therefore have evolved an astonishingly variety of morphological and chemical defense against herbivores. Obviously, all of you know cactus. Touch the cactus, you'll get one. Rose plant. All of you want to give the rose plant to someone? No, but rose plant have that thorns. Same with citrus fruit also. Citrus fruits have lemon. If you have tried taking lemon from a tree, it has a lot of thorns. Defense mechanism. Okay. Thorns, acacia are most common morphological means. So there are two types. Morphological. There is morphological and also chemical. Both are important to study. Chemicals, basically there are thorns and spines. Thorns and spines. But when it comes to chemicals, there are certain, I'll tell you, Calotropis is coming up. Okay. Chemicals that make the herbivores sick when they eat and bind, inhibiting feeding or indigestion, disrupt its reproduction or even kill it. Chemicals are so bad. You must have seen the Calotropis. Or how many of you seen Calotropis? Have you seen Calotropis, all of you? If you take the Calotropis and cut it, there will be a milk coming out of it. You might have seen this one. All of you might have seen Calotropis, right? This is called as Calotropis, opposite Phyllotaxy. Okay. Then if you see here, if you cut the Calotropis right here, if you cut the Calotropis, there will always a milk latex is coming out, and this is very harmful to the plants, harmful to the animals. Okay, so they avoid. Okay, Calotropis growing in abandoned fields, the plant produces highly poisonous cardiac glycosides. Very important, very important. Cardiac glycosides, and that is why you never see cattle or ghosts browsing on this plant. A wide variety of chemicals, substances that you get extracted from the plants are commercial scale. That is nicotine, caffeine, quinine, or styrosine, opium. All of them are basically what? All of them are basically your defense mechanism by the plants. Defense mechanism by the plants are produced by them actually for the defense against the grazes and browsers. Okay, browsers. This is your thorns and spines. In acacia, you see spines on the cactus. The main reason here is respiration loss. That also is there. Okay, this is Calotropis, milkweed. Look at this question, students. Look at this question. Tell me the answer now. Sir, onions also have defense mechanism by making cry. Yes, onions also, obviously. Onions will make you cry. Cut the onion, you see. You cannot survive there. See, the chemical defense against herbivores, Calotropis has what? Cardiac glycoside. Yes. Next question. Which of the following statements cannot be connected to predation? Cannot be. Okay. Cannot be connected. It is necessity by nature to maintain the ecological balance. Yes. It helps in maintaining species diversity in a community. Yes. It might lead to extinction of a species. Yes. If they do overeating. Okay. Both interacting species are negatively impacted, students. Tell me, are they negatively impacted? No. Deer, your tiger is eating a deer. Tiger is benefited. And the other one is negatively impacted. So plus minus in the case of predation. So option number 4. Oops. Option number 4. Yes or no? Look at this question now. I hope it is visible to all of you. The explaining intraspecific interaction of population, plus is referred to as beneficial, minus is referred to as detrimental interaction. 0 for neutral. Which of the following interactions can be assigned plus for one species, minus for one species involving interaction? You're supposed to tell me which one is plus minus here. Computation is minus. Amensalism is minus 0. Commensalism is plus 0. Predator is plus minus. Plus minus. Okay, plus minus. So that was your predator. Students, do you understand? All of you understand the gravity of predators? It is not just reading plus minus. There are so many examples which you need to remember in predation also. So all of you will remember, right? Remember the examples of your cardiac glycoside, Calotropis, chemical defense, right? Plants eating. Then there is a defense, monarchy butterfly, eating on poisonous weed, overexploitation. Then there is maintaining species diversity. Then we talk about energy transfer, keeping the prey population under control. Example is PPC, prickly pear cactus, right? It does, when moth came, that is a natural predator. No, that's all. That's all your predators. I hope all of you understood predators. Predators are actually the biggest one here. Okay. Next one is called as your competition. Next one is called as competition. Now in competition, what is happening? Two species are fighting. Now there are two categories here. There are two categories in your competition. One is called as intraspecific, one is called as interspecific. Now what is happening in the case of intraspecific? Imagine this is happening within a school. You are fighting with your friend. You are competing with your friend in intraspecific. With a friend you are competing. Same species. Okay. Now what about interspecific? In interspecific, there are two different species are competing here. Okay, two different species are competing here. For example, when you go to different schools for competition, you might have gone, right, for debate competition, for quiz competition, for some competition you might have gone, where you compete with different schools. That is called as inter school, right? So interspecific, or that is between different types of species. This is within species. Okay, same. Now students, when Darwin spoke of struggle for existence and survival of the fittest in nature, he was convinced that interspecific competition is a potent force in organic evolution, the most important line. So if someone asks you what is the major factor in organic evolution, it is always interspecific competition. Two organisms are competing and that could lead to evolution. Why? I'll give you a simple example. I need two volunteers from the chat. Two volunteers. For example, let's take Ravindrani and let's take Serenity. Ravindrani is scoring around 630 or 650 in a mock test. Serenity is scoring 600 in a mock test. They'll talk to each other. They'll fight with each other. Like, how can you score more marks? In the next exam, Ravindrani is scoring 650 still. But your what is that? What is the name went away? But other person is scoring, let's say Onion. Onion is scoring now 700 now. Do you see that? Because of the competition, it is always leading to one person always trying to be better, and that is always good, healthy competition. Okay. Now, it is generally believed that the competition occurs when the closely related species compete for the same resources that are limited, but it is not always entirely true. What do I mean by this? I'll give you a simple example. Okay. I'll give you a simple example. Okay. All of you have siblings in your house? All of you have siblings in your house, yes or no? Tell me. Now imagine I am sitting on my table. My sister is sitting on the table. My mother is bringing one chips packet. One chips packet, two people. Tell me, will there be a fight or not now? Will there be World War III? Yes or no? There will be World War III. Both of you will fight for the chips packet. And who is the survivor? Who is the fittest? They will take and run away. Usually I take and run away. Okay. So within species, within relatives, it happened. Now imagine there's one chips packet and I am in my house. My friend is also coming to my house. There is a fight with my friend also now. Not related species. Fight is happening for the same chips packet. Yes, it is happening. So competition is important. It is generally believed to be occurring between closely related species, me and my sister, competing for the same resource that is limited. But it is not always the entirely true. Even between non-related also it can happen. Okay. Firstly, totally unrelated species could also compete for the same resource. My friend is also competing for the same chips packet now. I can buy him one, I don't know why. Okay. He can also buy, he's also fighting for the same chips packet. For instance, in some, there's example here. Example for your competition. Example for competition. First example given here. American lakes visiting flamingos. Okay. There's a fight between flamingos. There's a fight between flamingos are fighting with resident fishes. Are they same species? No. Different species. But are they fighting for same resource? Yes. Both of them are fighting for what? Both of them fighting for zooplankton. Both of them are fighting for zooplankton. Unrelated species fighting for the same resource. Same chips packet. Okay. Now, in the lake. Secondly, the resource need not be limiting for the competition to occur. True, right? Even if there are 3 chips packet, even if there are 5 chips packet, still there will be a fight. Who will get more? Yes or no? So it doesn't mean just because the resource is limited, it doesn't mean the fight is there. The fight will still happen if the chips packet is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 also. Still the fight will be there because the resource is very important. Chips packet is very important. Okay. Now, secondly, resource not be limiting for the competition to occur. In interspecific competition, okay, the feeding efficiency of one species might be reduced due to the interaction and inhibitory presence of the other species. Obviously, if I'm taking a chips packet and running away, my sister will not get anything. Obviously, she will not get anything. I will take and run away chips packet. My eating habit is becoming better now. So therefore, competition is best defined as process in which the very important line, students. Back to this is the most important line. This is very important. Okay. Therefore, competition is best defined as a process in which the fitness of one species measured in terms of R, the intrinsic rate of natural increase, significantly lowers the presence of the another species. For example, students, I have one lion here and I have one, let's say, any carnivore, students? Okay, let's say tiger only. Tiger. Now, this tiger is able to hunt better. Yes. So this tiger is lowering the R value. It is lowering the R value of lion. So tigers are bigger, right? Tigers are bigger. So tiger is lowering the R value. It means the competition is happening between them. Okay. Competition is happening between them. Competition is best defined as the process in which the fitness of one species is lowered. It is significantly lowered in the presence of other species. As soon as the tiger is coming in with lion, the R value of lion is going down. R value of lion is going down. Okay. Now, for example, I'll give you one more example in the chat. Ravindrani and Sneha both are there. Both of them are fighting for a chocolate now. Ravindrani is very fast. She saw the chips chocolate first. She'll take the chocolate and run away. Sneha will stand there only. So because of the Ravindrani, Sneha's R value decreased there. Okay, understood? The R value is decreasing now. Okay, so R value is very important. Okay, did all of you understand this point here? The meaning of R value? Yes or no? All of you understood? All of you understood, right? The examples, you're able to understand the examples, right? Chips packet everywhere is. Don't write chips packet in the exam, students. I'm telling you again. Just because I'm telling chips packet here, don't write in the exam income chips packet and all. Sir was telling competition. Sir has one chips packet. Sister has one chips packet. Sir took the chips packet and ran away. So sir is lowering the R value of my sister. R value of the sister. Don't write that. Okay. It's just an analogy for you to remember. Okay. No. It is relatively easy to demonstrate the laboratory experiments as the Gauss and other experimental ecologists did. When the resources are limited, the competitively superior species will eventually eliminate the other species. Obviously, one who is superior will get the chocolate or the chips packet. But evidence of such competitive exclusion occurring in nature is not always conclusive. The strong and persuasive circumstantial evidence does exist. However, in some cases, the example for this one, the Albindon tortoise in Galapagos Island became extinct within a decade after goats were introduced into the island. Why? Because this stupid goat ate all the food. The stupid goat took the chips packet and ran away. Now, is there any chips left for your tortoise? No chips left. So it will die off. Okay. So goats were introduced into the island apparently due to the greater browsing deficiency of the goats. The tortoise completely died off. So examples, remember students. Examples of competition one by one. Okay. In Galapagos Island, they became extinct completely. Because of whom? Because of the stupid goat. Because of stupid goat. Okay. Now students, next thing. Sir, can you crack the need with me? Yeah, definitely. You just follow my teach. See, there is nothing I can tell. Okay, Nandu, you learn from me, then you tell if you're able to understand botany or not. That's all matters. Okay. Now, another evidence for occurrence of competition in nature comes from the what is called as your competitive release. Very important concept. Ready, all of you? Tell me. Ready? Something called as competitive release. And ready for understanding? Okay. Now I'll tell you one simple example of competitive release. Understand, all of you. Now this is one area. For example, this is my area. Okay, or anyone's area it is. Your area boys are here. Okay, this is one area here. Okay. Now in this area, I have in this area right here, I have this entire location is covered by a organism A. Okay, organism A is growing here. At the same area, there is one small piece of land where organism B is surviving. Okay. Just because of organism A, it is producing so much of pressure and it is not able to let the organism B grow only. That is called as competitive release. It is completely marking the territory here. Understand. See here. A species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area because of the presence of the competitively superior species is found to expand its distributional range dramatically when the competing species is experimentally removed. For example, understand, here I have competitively superior A is there, small geographical B is there. This B is not able to expand. Why? Because A is present here, B is not able to expand. Competitively superior, this is superior, this is inferior. Okay, this is inferior. Competitively inferior. Now what happens? Okay, competitively superior species is found to expand its distribution range dramatically when the competitive species is experimentally removed. What will happen now? Tell me, students, all of you tell me, what will happen from this piece of land if I completely remove the A? Tell me now. With logic, use logic, students, use logic. I will not tell you, use logic. If A is disappearing, is there a chance that your B will start to expand now? Competitive release is happening. Just because the competitive superior one is missing now, the B population will start to expand now. Yes or no? Tell me. All of you understanding? All of you understanding? Tell me. What will happen now? Read the lines again. The occurrence of competition in nature comes from what is called as competitive release. A species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area because of the presence of a dominant A was present here. Okay, competitive superior species is found to expand its distribution range dramatically when the competing species is experimentally removed. So if you remove the one, this will increase now. Okay, example, Colonel Elegant field experiment showed that on the Rocky Sea coast of Scotland, very important example coming up, students, listen to me very carefully. Okay, the larger and competitively superior barnacle, that is Balanus dominus, the dominates the intertidal area. For example, we have Balanus here. All of you see this diagram. In this rocky coast near the ocean bed, Balanus is able to expand and it is completely growing here. Balanus is growing. Okay. Now the thalamus, that is thalamus. Student, the spelling is given wrong in your NCERT. This is the actual spelling. Okay. So thalamus, it's called thalamus. Okay. NCERT spelling they have given wrong, but yeah. Now thalamus, this species is not able to grow here. See here. The larger competitively superior barnacle, Balanus, and the Balanus dominates the intertidal area and excludes the smaller barnacle, that is thalamus, from the zone. So the smaller one is not able to grow. Obviously, In this particular zone, Balanus is growing properly. This bigger barnacle is growing, and because of that, the smaller barnacle is not able to grow. It is going on corner, going on corner. Okay. Now, in general, the herbivores, that is an example of your competitive release. Now, what will happen? Tell me, students. What will happen if I remove the Balanus from here completely? Tell me, all of you. What will happen if I completely remove this Balanus here? This barnacle is removed completely. Then what will happen? Tell me. If this barnacle is removed completely from here, this one will start to expand now. This one will start to expand everywhere. Okay, that is called as competitive release. This one is able, it is capturing its area. It is not giving its area to anyone. The Balanus is the superior one. Okay. That is the concept of realization. But yeah, next thing. In general, herbivores and plants appear to be more adversely affected. Very important line, students. Herbivores and plants appear to be more adversely affected by competition than animals. Why? Animals can run away, do something, but plants can't do anything. Plants cannot do anything. Okay. Now Gauss competitive exclusion principle. Very important line coming up. Gauss competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for the same resource, same chips packet again, same resource, cannot coexist indefinitely, and competitively inferior one will eliminate eventually. So two species are fighting for the same resource. The one which is competitively inferior will perish eventually. Okay, because it's not able to fight for it. Okay. Now this may be true in resources are limiting. Okay, but not otherwise. More recent studies do not support such gross generalization about competition. While they do not rule out the occurrence of interspecific competition in nature, they point out that species facing competition might evolve mechanism that promote coexistence rather than exclusion. For example, I'll tell you. Chips packet is coming to your house. Again, chips packet example, understand. I'm getting chips packet into my house. Okay. Now, instead of one chips packet, what if I bring two chips packet and we come to an understanding? Me and my sister come to an understanding that let's not fight. Let's not fight. Let's divide the chips packet equally, which never happens. Okay. So let's divide the chips packet equally now. Half I will get, half you will get. No more competition. Both can exist very well. This concept right here of sharing and caring, in ecology, it is called as resource partitioning. It is called as what? Resource partitioning, where resources are being partitioned equally. Okay. Might evolve mechanism that promote coexistence rather than exclusion. One such mechanism is resource partitioning. If two species competing for the same resource, they could avoid competition by choosing, for instance, different time of feeding or different foliage patterns. Okay. One more example given here, MacArthur. Example. MacArthur showed that 5 closely related species of warbles living on the same tree were able to avoid competition and coexist due to the behavioral differences in their foliage activities. For example, see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 different warbles are staying on the same tree. But from where are they eating the food? That is very different. This warble is eating from the top. It is eating from the sideways. This is eating only from the peak. This warble is eating from the sides here, and this yellow rumpet warble is eating from the bottom. So all these 5 warbles eating from the same tree is able to divide the food and survive in coexistence. Survive in coexistence. That is called as resource partitioning. Did all of you understand the question? My name, students, all of you know my name. My name is there in the thumbnail only, you see my name. Okay. Did all of you understand? Did all of you understand what is the meaning of resource partitioning? All of you understood resource partitioning? It is very important for co-evolution also, in evolution point of view. Okay. Now, do you see this question? Gauss competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for the different resource cannot exist independently, students. Are they fighting for different resource or same resource? Can anyone tell me, are they fighting for different resource or same resource? Tell me in the chat. According to Gauss principle, during competition, the inferior one will eliminated, and this may be true if the resources are limiting. Tell me what is the answer now? Tell me, while you think, I will drink some water for myself. Enjoy the question. Tell me the answer. This is a this year PYQ students NEET 2024 question. Question cannot get become more easy than this. Tell me now. What is the answer? 3 obviously. 3 obviously. Yes or no? Statement number 1 is wrong. It's wrong because it's supposed to be same resource. Okay, see this question. See this question now. The Colonel Elegant Field experiment showed that on a rocky sea, larger comparatively superior barnacle dominates the intertidal area and excludes the smaller barnacle from the sea. One is dominating, it is removing the smaller barnacle. Okay. Generally, herbivore plants appear to be more adversely affected by competition than carnivores. Okay, both are correct. Both are correct, but now you tell me what is the answer. Is it 1 or 2? What is the answer? Is it 1 or 2? Tell me, students, tell me, is it 1 or 2? No question mark at all. Tell me properly. Why question mark? You should be very ascertain, like, yes, sir, this is the answer. You should be, yes, sir, this is the answer. Nothing can go wrong in my life. Huh? Students, this is correct. This is also correct. But is this explaining anyway? Is it explaining this thing? Here I am talking about herbivores. Here I am talking about barnacle. It is not explaining only. So option number 2. Option number 2. Look at this question, students. The Gauss competitive exclusion principle states that two closely related species competing for the same resource cannot coexist independently. Comparatively inferior one will be eliminated. In general, carnivores are more adversely affected compared to herbivores. Tell me the answer now. Tell me the answer now. I'm reading for this. If it's not visible, I'm reading also. No. Listen, listen. Ears open. Tell me the answer now. This one is correct, obviously. There's something wrong about this statement, no? Something wrong about this statement, right? Something is wrong about this statement. What is wrong about this statement? In general, carnivores are more adversely affected by competition than herbivores. No, students. It is always herbivores are more affected. Herbivores are more affected, right? It is always herbivores are more affected compared to carnivores. Option number 4, correct. Exactly, Ravindrani. Correct. Option number 4. Okay. Can you do all of you? Now see this question. Two butterflies. I will read if it's not visible. I will read. Listen to my speech. Two butterfly species are competing for the same nectar of a flower in a garden. To survive and coexist together, they may avoid competition in the same garden by how can they avoid competition? Feeding at the same time, choosing different forage patterns, increasing the time spent on attacking each other, predating on each other. Tell me, how can they avoid competition now? Resource partitioning, yes or no? Resource partitioning, they can do what? Choosing different foliage patterns, choosing the different foliage patterns, just like your wobbles, okay. Look at this question now, students. In spite of interspecific competition nature, which mechanism the competing species might have evolved for the survival? In spite of interspecific competition nature, which mechanism the competing species might have evolved for the survival? Tell me. One chips packet, how we share and we eat. If you don't share, there's more competition. If you share, there's less competition. We can evolve. Yes or no? What is the answer? What is the answer now? Tell me. Mechanism for coevolution, that is your resource partitioning. Yes or no? So two of the organisms can coexist very well if they share the resources and they can survive very well. Is everyone able to solve the question? Okay. Look at this question now. Carnivorous animals, lion, leopard, occupy the same niche, but lion predate mostly larger animals and leopards take smaller animals. Both are in the same niche, both are in hunting, but lion is eating larger animals, your leopard is eating smaller animals. This mechanism of competition is called as character displacement, altruism, resource partitioning, competition exclusion, resource partitioning. Yes or no? One is eating larger animal, one is eating smaller animal, and they're able to coexist without competing because of resource partitioning. Okay. So with that, your competition part also is done. Okay. Students, quickly smash that like button. And if you want these notes, if you want all of these notes, all these beautiful notes where I'm making small annotations, everything is available on Telegram channel. This is my Telegram channel where you can join. But also, students, if you go to the link in the description, there is something called treasure box, which I'll tell you later also. In treasure box, if you go, you will find notes for every single lecture so far. Every single lecture so far you'll get. Okay. So with that being said, students, can we start with parasitism now? The most cunning one of all. Can we start? Can we start with parasitism now? Yes or no? All of you drink some water. All of you drink some water now, and we'll start. All of you drink some water, and we can start with parasitism now. No break. No break. Okay. Now, again, same rule. I will read, you listen, and at the same time, try reading with me also. Okay. Let's start. Considering the parasitic mode of the life ensures free lodging and meals, and it is not surprising that parasitism has evolved in so many taxonomic groups from plants to higher vertebrates. Obviously, because parasitism, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make your own food. All you have to do is eat others' food. For example, I'll give you a simple example. Okay, all of you might have noticed this. Okay, as soon as your birthday is coming near, that one friend will become extra friendly. No, you might have noticed this. When your birthday is coming near, that one friend will become extra friendly with you. Why? Because he knows you'll get special treat, free food, free treat you'll get, free pizza, free burger. Okay, so that one friend will become extra friendly that time because he's being parasite that time. He's trying to take only the resource from you. Okay, now many parasites have evolved to host specific. They can parasitize only a single species of the host. It means they are becoming very specific here. They are becoming very specific at this point. Very specific at this point. Okay, in such a way that both host and the parasite tend to co-evolve, and that is if the host evolves special mechanism for rejecting or resisting the parasite, the parasite also evolve mechanism to counter them and neutralize the on them. That is, you'll tell your friend, you're like, bro, I want to go to my auntie's house, I cannot come with you. He'll tell you, I will drop you. Okay, next thing you'll tell, no, today I have to go out with my family, like, I'll also come. Okay, next thing you'll tell, how much ever you try to get rid of that person, how much ever you try to get rid of that person, the person will be like, no, I will also come, I will also do this, I will also do that. They'll try to become extra friendly. Yes. Like parasite also, parasites, they are like, you reject how much ever you want, they'll bring a mechanism and they'll come back, bring a mechanism, they'll come back. So parasites are like that. They'll always form a mechanism to come back and attack you. Okay, in the order to be successful with the same host species, so this is called as co-evolution is happening. In the accordance with their lifestyle, parasites evolved a special adaptation such as the loss of unnecessary sense organs. Why? Example, I'll tell you. Now a parasite is depending upon your body to eat all the food. Does it require any more sense organs? It is getting the free food. Does it even need to think anymore? No. I'll give you a simple example. I am giving you every single day $1 billion. Will you work? Who will work? Free money is coming. Who will work now? You will think like that. Okay, you will think like that. Okay. So you will think like that. When free money is coming, why will I work? Unless you are very interested to work, that's a different scenario. So just like parasite, if you give parasite everything, it doesn't require certain organs. It'll start discarding them. Like, why do I need hand? I am getting food here. Why do I need hand? I'm getting food here easily. Why do I need eyes? Why do I need ears? That is example. Okay, they don't have eyes and ears. Okay. Now, unnecessary sensory organs preserve of adhesion organs or suckers on to cling on the host. Loss of digestive system and high reproductive capacity. That is going to happen. Okay. So they will have reproductive capacity and high digestive system is achieved. The life cycle of parasites are often complex, involving one or two intermediate hosts or vectors also. Now, students, how many of you know the difference between host and vectors? Tell me in the chat. Or difference between host or vectors. Okay. To facilitate the parasitism for its primary host, the human liver fluke, a nematode, right? A nematode parasite depending on two intermediates host, that is a snail and a fish, to complete its life cycle. This is the example given here. That is a liver fluke. Liver fluke example. Liver fluke example is given here. It needs a snail and a fish. The two hosts here are a snail and a fish. Snail and fish. To complete this life cycle. To complete this life cycle, two hosts are required. Okay. Now, students, the malaria parasite also. The malaria parasite, it is the malaria parasite needs a vector, that is mosquito, to spread to another host. It needs mosquito. The mosquito will come and bite you. You will get the malaria Plasmodium vivax. You'll get. The difference between your host and a vector is that vector is always never affected by the individual. You'll never see a mosquito getting malaria. All of you understand? You'll never see a mosquito getting malaria. Not happening. It's a vector, not a host. We are host. Okay. So understand the difference between a vector and a host. Host is always affected. Vector is never affected. Okay. Simple difference. Okay. Your vectors are not affected. They are just a transport intermediate. Okay. To spread to another host. Majority of the parasites harm the host. See, they may reduce the survival, growth and reproduction of the host and reduce the population density. You might have seen, if you get malaria, next touch wood, you should not get malaria, but if you get malaria by any chance, your body will become weak, you start shivering, right? It completely destroys your body, the parasites, right? Now, they might render the host more vulnerable to predation by making it physically weak. Okay. Now, then why didn't, okay, then parasites that feed on the external, okay, students, there are two types of parasites. There are two types of parasites. One is called as ectoparasite. Versus endoparasite. Now, students, when you are in kindergarten or when you're in LKG, UKG also, okay, LKG, UKG also, you might have seen, you'll start scratching your hair. You will see one corner, one boy scratching the hair. You will say, no, don't go near him. Why? Because he or she will have lice in the hair, and you're like, be careful. The lice are present on human head, in the head. That is called as ectoparasite. The meaning of ecto means outside. Ecto means outside. Endo means inside. The parasite which is present on the inside is called as endoparasite. One is present on the outside is called as ectoparasite. Ecto on the outside, endo on the inside. Okay, understand? Okay. Now, so ectoparasites which are present on the surface of the host, external surface of the host, ectoparasite. The most familiar example for this group are the lice on the human hair and ticks on the dog. Many marine fishes are infested with ectoparasites called as copypods. I'll show you a diagram. See this. In this fish gills, can you see the gills also? Even in the skin, they will have something called as ectoparasites on the body. Ectoparasites on the body will be present. Okay, copypods, called as copypod. Okay. Cuscuta, a parasitic plant that commonly found in growing in hedge plants, has lost the chlorophyll. Why? Because it is a parasite now. It is the parasite. It doesn't need chlorophyll anymore. Why does it need chlorophyll anymore? If it is able to do photosynthesis on its own, it doesn't need chlorophyll anymore, right? It is able to derive the food. I'll show you the example. This is called Cuscuta. See, this Cuscuta is able to derive the nutrition from the leaf here. They have the nutrition from the leaf. If it is getting the nutrition from the leaf, it doesn't need chlorophyll anymore, so it will lose all the chlorophyll. This is called as Cuscuta. This is called as Cuscuta. Okay, parasitic plant. Okay, lost the chlorophyll and leaf in the course of evolution. See, no leaf also. It derives the nutrition from the host plant, which is parasites. The female mosquito is not considered a parasite, although it needs a blood for reproduction. Okay, it's not a parasite. The liver fluke, human liver fluke. It needs snail and a fish, two different hosts for survival. Okay, it needs a snail and a fish. Human liver fluke. Cuscuta. Okay. Now, in contrast, endoparasites are those that live inside our host, a different body, that is liver, kidney, lungs, red blood cells, etc. The life cycle of endoparasites are more complex because of their extreme specialization, because they're present inside the body. So they have a very complex cycle. That is your endoparasites. Their morphological and anatomical features are greatly simplified while emphasizing their reproductive potential. They keep reproducing, students. Only thing they have to do is reproduction. They have to multiply. Rest of the organs are completely removed. Okay, so the whole point is endoparasites reproduce, multiply, infect. Eat, sleep, reproduce, and infect. Okay. Now, there's a concept called as brood parasitism. There's a concept called as brood parasitism. Understand? Very beautiful concept in nature. Okay. Students, I'll show you one diagram. See this. I'll show you this image. Can you see a difference in the eggs here? Can all of you see the difference in the eggs here? Yes or no? Tell me. See, I can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. I can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. But there's a papa here. Who's the papa here? The papa here is a crow. A crow cannot tell the difference. A crow cannot tell the difference. Now, what exactly is happening? Understand. How many of you know the cuckoo bird? Not you, but the cuckoo or the koel bird. How many of you know the cuckoo bird, students? Cuckoo bird or the koel bird? How many of you know it? The very nice sound, it brings the nice sound. How many of you know it? All of you know? All of you know. So what will happen is, the cuckoo bird will lay the eggs in the crow's nest. Also, remember, the cuckoo bird will lay the egg in the crow's nest. The crow will aram se grow and it will completely take care of the babies and everything. But eventually what happens is, the crow doesn't know which one is its egg and doesn't know which one is the parasitic bird egg. That is a koel bird egg. This will grow properly now. When this is growing, sometimes what happens is, this will completely destroy the other eggs also while growing. When this is growing, it will destroy the other eggs while growing. That is called as your brood parasitism. Understand? The brood parasitism in birds is a fascinating example of parasitism in which the parasitic bird lays the egg in the nest of the host and lets the host incubate them. The koel bird is coming and living it there. The crow is completely incubating it. Okay. Eggs in the nest of its host and let the host incubate them. During the course of evolution, the eggs of the parasitic birds have evolved to resemble the host eggs in the size and the color to reduce the chance of the host bird detecting the foreign eggs and rejecting them from the nest. Okay. Try to follow the movement of the cuckoo bird, koel, and the crow in your neighborhood. Okay. Part during the breeding season, you will see this. Okay. So that is the story of cuckoo and crow. Cuckoo and crow or the koel. Okay. Sad life it has some crow bird. Brood parasitism. Now with that, parasitism is also over. First we did with predation, competition, parasitism. Next thing is called as commensalism. Ready all of you? Commensalism. This commensalism is very easy, students. Till now, rest of the things are very easy. Commensalism is not even giving you a syllabus. So commensalism, mutualism, two things are over. At the end of today's lecture, I will tell you an amazing fact. Okay. At the end of lecture, I'll tell you one amazing fact, that is, how many of you know what is fig? How many of you know what is a fig? Anjeer. All of you eaten anjeer in your life? I'll tell you why this anjeer right here is sometimes, not always, non-veg. Why is anjeer considered as non-veg? I will tell you in today's class. Why do we call them non-veg? And even in our Indian thing, lot of Brahmins and Jains, they don't eat fig. You might have seen they will never eat fig. They will never eat fig, and they'll say it is non-veg, you should not eat fig. And I'll tell you in today's class, why do we consider fig as non-veg at the end of lecture. Okay, why is the fig called as non-veg? And students, all of you are aware, right? Plants can talk to each other. All of you know, right? Plants can talk to each other. Like how you and I talk, not in the very same fashion, but plants can also talk to each other. All of you are aware, right? There are two ways a plant can talk to each other. One is a plants can talk to each other with the help of mycorrhizal association, because of mycorrhizal association. The other new recent study shows that a plants, every single time there is a predator coming and infecting a plant, the plant will release some type of gases called as the ethylene gas. The ethylene gas is released by the plants, and as soon as the ethylene gas is detected by the other plants, they're like, ethylene gas is coming. As soon as the plants are able to detect the ethylene, they will start creating tannins on their own, and tannins is very bitter. So other infectant will not infect the other plants. So plants can talk to each other by releasing gases, ethylene gas. Okay. Other one is mycorrhizal association. Now commensalism. Tell me students, commensalism, what is the sign? Plus minus, minus minus, plus 0, minus 0. Tell me, or plus plus. What exactly happening in the case of commensalism? Tell me. Yeah, they have phones. They have long distance phones and short distance phone. They have WhatsApp also. Sure. Tell me. Students, smash that like button first of all, quickly. Smash that like button, all of you, quickly smash that like button and tell me the answer. Smash that like button. Plus 0, plus 0. This is a interaction in which one species benefit and other one is neither benefited nor harmed. One species is benefiting, other one is neither benefited nor harmed. Examples, very important examples. See this. An orchid is growing on a mango tree. An orchid is growing on a mango tree. That is an example of your commensalism. Now this orchid plant is not infecting or anything. It is just growing on top of it. It is not infecting the mango. So mango is not affected nor benefited. But orchid is benefiting. Yes. Orchid is benefiting. Mango is neither affected nor benefited. Plus 0. Plus 0. Okay. This is called as epiphytes. This is called as a veil and barnacles. See, it might look that barnacles are affecting here, but they are not. Okay. So barnacles growing on back of the veil, it doesn't affect them. So barnacle is benefiting, the veil neither benefit nor harmed. Okay. Next example. This is called as a cow and ergot. This is called as your egret or cow. Now cow is not affected here. Okay. The egret is benefiting. Egret is benefiting. The cow is neither benefited nor affected. Now you might ask me, sir, how is the egret benefiting here? Egret's benefiting. Very simple answer. Now imagine this cow. Okay, the holy cow is there. When the cow is moving, it is moving with its legs the grass. Yes, it is moving the grass with its legs. As soon as when the cow is walking and the grass is moving, when the grass are moving, one insect will pop up because all the insects are hiding in the grass, and the cow is moving and all the grasses are moving. When the grass moves, insect is popping up, and as soon as the insect pops up, as soon as the insect is popping up, this particular opportunity will go to eat the insect. It will go eat the insect. Okay, so that is the one more example. Other example, all of you know, the famous example of Nemo. Okay, that is sea anemone and clownfish. The sea anemone is benefiting by hiding here. The clownfish is not the clownfish is benefiting by hiding here, and sea anemone is neither benefited nor harmed. So clownfish is benefiting. The sea anemone neither benefited nor harmed. Okay. All the examples are very important. See here. The orchids growing as an epiphyte. The meaning of epiphyte is that one plant growing on other plant. That is called as an epiphyte. Okay. On a mango branch, and the barnacles growing on the top of the back of the whale is neither benefited, neither the mango tree or the whales are benefited. Okay. Now, the cattle egret, grazing cattle in the close association. A sight you might mostly like to catch if you live in the farm rural areas. I have seen it. It's a classical example of commensalism. The egret always forage close to where the cattle are grazing, because the cattle, as they move, they stir and flush out the vegetation and insects that otherwise might be difficult for the egret to find and catch. Another example of commensalism is interaction between the sea anemone and the stinging tentacles, because anemone will hide behind sea anemone that has stinging tentacles, and the clownfish will hide in the sea anemone and will chill aram se. The fish gets the protection from the predators, which stays away from the stinging tentacles. The anemone does not appear to derive any beneficial or hosting or question the clownfish. Plus 0, plus 0, plus 0, and plus 0. Commensalism done. Tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Quickly tell me the answer. Students, quickly smash the like button, all of you. I should add the poll always. Between which of the following relationship is not an example? Not an example of commensalism. Orchids growing on a tree, commensalism example. Example. This is not an example. Okay. Orchid on a tree which is growing, that is an example of commensalism. Egret and cattle, example. Sea anemone clownfish is an example. Female wasp in the fig is not an example. Okay. Last topic for today, students. Can we start? Last topic for today, and after that chapter is over. And I'm telling you, ecology is supposed to be learned like this. Ecology is supposed to be learned line by line. Okay. So ready, students? Ready for the last topic for today? Can we start? All of you drink some water and we'll start. We will start with the last part, that is called as mutualism. Okay. And students, let me know in the chat if you want ecosystem next. Ecosystem. Do you want ecosystem or not? Tell me, students, quickly. One shot will do ecosystem. One shot of ecosystem. Nice. Okay. Now, let's start with something called as mutualism. Now, tell me in the chat quickly, all of you. In mutualism, what exactly is happening in the case of mutualism? Tell me, all of you. In the case of mutualism, is both the species are benefited, or one is benefited, other one is harmed? Tell me. Is it plus minus 0 plus 0 minus? Tell me. Mutualism is always plus. This interaction confers beneficial on both the interacting species. Famous example, lichens. Lichen has two different organisms. That is, it has something called as a fungal and algal part. Lichen has something called as a fungal and as well as algae part. Algae will provide what? Food, because of photosynthesis. Fungus will provide shelter. Okay. Represents an intimate mutualistic relationship between fungus and the photosynthesizing algae or cyanobacteria. Similarly, mycorrhizae are associated between the fungus and the roots of higher plants. See here. Can you see? This is called as mycorrhizae. That is, the fungus and the tree has a mutualistic relationship. The fungus will provide help in trapping more nutrients, while the tree will provide nutrition to the fungus, because fungus cannot produce their own food. Saprophytic mode of nutrition. So tree will provide some carbohydrates to the fungus, and the fungus will provide more capturing of nutrients. Okay. Now, the fungi helps the plant in absorption of essential nutrients from the soil, while the plant in turn provides the fungus with high energy carbohydrates. Mutualistic relationship. Okay. Now, the most spectacular and evolutionary fascinating examples of mutualism are found in plant-animal relationship. Obviously, always best examples are given here. Okay. Plants need the help of animals for pollinating their flowers and dispersal of their seeds. Animals obviously do not have to pay the fees for the service that plants expect from them. Okay. So what is happening is, for example, I have a plant here, or an animal here. The animal is coming and telling, "Oh, plant, do you want me to do some work for you? Do you want me to help you in pollination? Do you want me to help you in seed dispersal?" The plant is like, "Yes, sir, help me." The animal will be like, "I will also ask you some fees." Now, what is the fees here? The fees here is called as a reward. It's called as a reward mechanism. Just because for the pollination, the flower is also producing nectar. The flower is producing nectar, and when the insect or the animal or the insect or the bird is coming and helping with the pollination, it is actually coming for the nectar. When it is eating the nectar and taking the reward, at the same time the pollination also happens. All of you are aware of this, right? All of you are aware of this. Plants offer rewards or fee in form of pollen and nectar for pollinators, and juicy and nutritional fruits for the seed dispersal. Because what happens, I'll tell you a quick example. You might have seen monkey. One monkey is coming, nice jumping and coming. Monkey is picking one mango. It is eating the mango and it is throwing the uneaten part. The rest of the part it is throwing somewhere. Seed, mango has seed inside. Monkey ate the fruit, seed got dispersed. Again, one more example. Chiku. Monkey is eating chiku. It is eating the chiku. Sapota, it is eating sapota. Seeds it is throwing out. Plants are growing. So that is how seed dispersal can work. Okay. But mutually beneficial system should also be safeguarded against cheaters. See, this one is a very nice framework. Animals are there, plants are there, they're working really well. But there are some cheaters here. What do cheaters do? Cheaters will come, they will take the reward but not do pollination. Cheaters are here. Okay. For example, animals that try to steal nectar without aiding the pollinations. Now you can see why plant-animal interactions often evolve co-evolution. Why co-evolution? To avoid cheaters. See, for example, I am a plant, one animal is there. Both of them are co-evolving. Now to make sure they are co-evolving, they have a very specific interaction. When there is a very specific interaction, someone from the third party cannot come and interact with us. They're like, you stay away from our group only. Okay, we have a group here. We do not want one more person to the group. So cheaters are always removed from the group. Okay, co-evolution for the mutualist, that is co-evolution of flower and the its pollinator species are tightly linked with one another. In many species of fig, coming up, in many species of fig trees, there is a tight one-to-one relationship with the pollinator species of the wasp. So the example here is fig and wasp. Fig and wasp. Fig and wasp. Okay, they have a co-evolution with them. Okay, co-evolution with them. It means that the given fig species can be pollinated only by its partner wasp. So they have a type of fig, type of wasp. They have a very specific relationship, one-to-one relationship. Okay, now wasp species and no other species. Now the female wasp uses, very important line, the female wasp uses the fruit not only as the ovipositions, that is laying egg, but also uses the developing seed within the fruit for nourishment. So what is happening here? The female wasp is laying the eggs. Female wasp is laying the eggs. It is getting a site for laying the eggs, and also it is getting the nutrition from the seed. At the same time, the wasp pollinates the fig inflorescence while thus searching for a suitable egg laying sites. Okay, in return for the favor of pollination, the fig offers wasp for its developing seeds as a food for developing wasp larvae. So what is happening here? The fig is giving the fruit, giving the seeds, and wasp is helping in pollination. It is helping in pollination. Okay, this is called as fig and wasp relationship. Now students, now I will teach you one of the good concepts of why fig is considered non-vegetarian. Ready? Ready students? Why fig is considered as non-vegetarian? Ready for that answer? Ready, ready, ready? Why is fig considered non-veg? It's a very specific relationship and it happens in only few of the figs. Some nowadays the figs which you get in the market are usually vegetarian, where the pollination is not done by them, pollination is done by us only. Okay. Now students, the fig which you eat, right? The fig which you eat is actually a flower. It is an inflorescence. It is a inflorescence of a fig tree. Okay. Now what is happening in this fig is, this is the fig plant. Okay. A female will always enter. A female wasp. A female wasp will enter inside the fig fruit from a small hole here. Can you see? There's a small hole here through which the wasp can enter. Okay, wasp is entering now. Now, once the wasp enters inside, it will start laying eggs. Now, when it is laying the eggs, there are two chances: male wasp, female wasp. Yes or no? Now, male wasp has a very short lifespan, and the main role of male wasp is two main roles. One is called as reproduction, other one is called as digging a tunnel. Digging a tunnel. Okay. Now, what do I mean by tunnel here? Now, what actually happens, understand all of you. When the female is releasing the eggs there, egg is developing by taking the nutrition here. Okay. Now, what happens is, when the female is entering the thing here, the female wasp will die inside. It will die inside. The female wasp will die inside. It will completely die inside. Okay. When the female wasp is dying inside, the larvae will start to grow. The male wasp never leaves the fig fruit. It is always inside. The male wasp is never coming out. The male wasp's only function is reproduction, and second function is digging the tunnel. Once enough of tunnel is digged here, female wasp is coming out. The new female larvae wasp is coming out. The old one is dying. The one which is entering is dying. The new female wasp is coming out, and remember, the female wasp has wings. Male wasp does not have a wings. Male wasp does not have a wings and will die inside only. The entire life cycle of male wasp is giving birth, it is hatching, it is born there, and it is dying inside only. The main function of male wasp is making a small hole there. Okay. And the female wasp is coming out and they're ready for more pollination. They'll go again, find more fig, and they will pollinate and they will complete the life cycle. They'll come inside again, lay the eggs, male wasp will develop, male wasp will die inside only, the female wasp will come out. And that's why you see, sometimes you always see, if you cut open the fig, you will see some of the dead, usually don't see. If you cut open a very young fig, you might see sometimes. But usually you cannot see any of the dead wasp inside, is because entire wasp is already digested by the fig there. Completely destroyed by the fig, and fig absorbs all the nutrition there. Okay. So that is the story of fig. Okay. But don't worry, right now which you get in the market is vegetarian one. Why? Because pollination is not done with the help of your wasp anymore in commercially available ones. Okay. Yes, exactly. It is like a graveyard. The entire fig fruit is basically a graveyard there. Okay. Now you understand this entire, when you cut it open, you can see some small dead ones also in the inside. This is called as a graveyard fruit. Okay. That is the story of fig. Okay. Last concept before I go is called as sexual deceit. Next thing is called as sexual deceit. It is done by a stupid honeybee. Can you see? This is done by your bumblebee, not honeybee, bumblebee. Now what happens here? Understand. Orchids show a bewildering delivery of floral patterns, of many of which have evolved to attract the right pollinators, insect, bees and bumblebees. Students, if you go to the internet right now, and check the different types of orchids, you will be shocked to see a different type of orchids. Some orchids look like one insect. Some orchids look like a dancing girl. Some orchids look like one different type of animal face. Some orchid flower looks like a monkey's face. Go check right now if you want. I'm not even lying. Some of the orchid flowers looks like a monkey's face. That is the specialty of orchids. And there are certain orchids which will look like a honeybee. Okay, for example, this is the orchid, and this one right here. This right here is the orchid. This right here is an orchid which looks like female bee. Looks like a female bee. This one right here, this one. So what will happen here is the male bee will think the female bee is sitting here. The male bee will come and try to copulate here, and as it doesn't even realize that this is not a female, it is a plant. It will do copulation and it will fly away. Again, it will go to one more plant, do the same copulation. But when the honeybee is coming and sitting here, bumblebee is coming and sitting here, all the pollens are dusted on it, and pollination can happen. Okay, and ensures guaranteed pollination by it. Not all orchids offer rewards. The Mediterranean orchid, that is Ophrys, employs a sexual deceit. It is basically fooling the bee, sexual deceit. Okay, to get pollination done by the species of bees. One petal of the flower bee bears an uncanny resemblance to the females of the bee in size and color and marking. The male bee is attracted to the what it perceives as a female bee, pseudocopulates with the flower, and during the process dusted with the pollen of the flower. When the same bee pseudocopulates with one more flower, it transmits the pollen to it, and thus pollination of the flower is complete. Here you can see how co-evolution also plays a very important role. Why? Because imagine if this bee, the actual female, if the actual female looks different, then obviously this bee will not come and sit here. So it has a very I don't even know how plants think. Students, imagine, try to think. Just try to think, okay. How does the orchid plant even know what a female bee looks like? Think, imagine, all of you think. See, plants do not have eyes. They do not have a sensory organs, good sensory organs. Then how does any way possibly that the plant knows what a female bee looks like? Even after knowing how it looks like, it is tricking the bee to come and copulate with it. Tell me now, who is smarter now? Tell me, who is smarter now? Tell me, students, who is smarter now? Plants or us? Who is smarter? Plants, no? I don't even know how they even get to know that this is how female bee looks like. Okay, if the female bee's color pattern change even slightly for any reason during the evolution, the pollination success would be reduced unless the orchid flower co-evolves, maintaining the resemblance to its petal to the female bee. So what happens is if the female bee is changing, even the orchid also changes with the same pattern. One of the best amazing orchids is one of the most advanced family of plants, Orchidaceae. So go check it out, Orchidaceae. Okay. Now that is the end of chapter, friends. That is the end of the chapter. Tell me now, ecology is interesting or not? Tell me, students, is ecology interesting or not? Ecology is very, very interesting. Ecology is very, very interesting because there are so many things happening in your animal world. Okay, in the entire biosphere also. Okay. Now, students, plants offer rewards to animals in the form of pollen and nectar, and animals facilitate pollination process. This is an example of commensalism, competition, commensalism, mutualism. Mutualism. We just now learnt mutualism. When the fitness of one species is significantly lower in the presence of another species, the fitness of lion is reduced in the presence of tiger. In the presence of tiger, fitness of lion is reduced. The process is defined as competition, correct? When fungi remains in association with the living plants or the animals, they are called as saprophytes, students. Yes or no? Are they called saprophytes? When the fungi remains association with living plants, are they called saprophytes, or are they called as mutualism? Mutualism, right? Fungi and algae, lichen. Fungi and roots of the higher plants, mycorrhizae. Not saprophytes. It is not saprophytes. Not saprophytes. Easy answer. 1 is true, 2 is false. Next question. Which of the following is not an example of mutualism? Lichen, mycorrhizae, wasp. This is not an example. This is an example of your commensalism. Commensalism example. Okay, commensalism example. This is a NEET 2024 question, students. This year question on your board. This year question. Okay. A lion and a leopard in a forest grassland. That is basically your competition. That is competition. A cuckoo bird is your brood parasitism. A is 1, B is 2. A is 1, B is 2. These two. This is gone. This is gone. C is 3. But no 3 only given here. Okay, this is 3, I guess. Fungi and roots of higher plants is mutualism. Okay, C is 3. Correct. C is 3. Here is the answer. D is 4. Cattle aggregate is commensalism. D is 4. Here. So 2 is the answer. 2 is the answer. So with that, the chapter is over, students. With that, the chapter is over. Now I will read the summary of the entire chapter for you. Listen to the summary, enjoy the summary, and you'll get the entire idea of the entire chapter, how it was. Okay, can we start reading summary now? I want everyone to read the summary with me. You'll get a better idea. Okay, let me drink some water. I will read in one go. Now, a branch of biology, ecology is the study of the relationship of the living organisms with abiotic physiochemical factors and biotic components and other species of the environment. It is concerned with 4 levels of biological organization, that is organism level, population level, communities level, and biomes level. This chapter, organism and population, this chapter. Temperature, light, water, and soil are the most important physical factors of the environment to which organisms are adapted in various ways. Stereohaline, euryhaline, eurythermal, stereothermal. Right? Maintenance of a constant internal temperature is called as homeostasis. Humans, by the organism, contributes to the optimal performance. But only some organisms, regulators, are capable of homeostasis in the face of changing external environment. The other either partially regulate the internal temperature or simply conformers, plants and different types of animals. In a few species have evolved adaptations to avoid unfavorable conditions in the space, migration or estivation or hibernation, and diapause. Diapause in the case of zooplankton. Evolutionary changes through natural selection. Natural selection takes place in the population level. Very important line again. Natural selection happens at population level. Hence, population ecology is an important area of ecology. A population is a group of individuals given species, same species, sharing or competing of similar resources in a defined geographical area. Population have attributes that individual organizations do not. Birth rate, death rate, all this is found in the case of population. Sex ratio and age pyramid, age distribution. The proportion of different age groups of males and females in a population is often presented graphically as an age pyramid. The shape indicates whether the population is stationary, growing, or declining. That is pyramid shape, urn shape, and bell shape. Ecological effects of any factor on a population are generally reflected in its size, population density, which may be expressed in different ways. Number, biomass, percent over. Number is generally used. Biomass is used where you cannot use number. Where you cannot use the number, that time we use biomass. Okay. Now, population grow through birth and immigration and decline through death and emigration. When resources are unlimited, the growth is usually exponential. But when the resources becomes progressively limiting, the growth pattern is logistic. Okay. In either case, growth is ultimately limited by the carrying capacity, that is called as K, of the environment. The intrinsic rate of natural increase, R, is a measure of the inheritance potential of a population to grow. That is, if I give you unlimited resources, how much can you grow? I will give you unlimited knowledge, how much will you learn? Right, same thing. In nature's population of different species, nature population of different species in a habitat do not live in isolation but interact in many ways. Depending upon the outcome of these interactions between species are classified into competition. Both species suffer. Predation and parasitism, one benefit, other one is suffering. Commensalism, one is benefiting, other one is unaffected. Amensalism, one is harmed, other one is unaffected. And mutualism, both are benefited. Predation is often important process through which trophic energy transfer is facilitated, and some predators help in controlling their prey population. Plants have evolved diverse morphological and chemical defenses against the herbivores. In competition, it is the presumed that the superior competitors eliminate the inferior one. Okay, competitive exclusion principle, Gauss. But the many close related species have evolved various mechanisms which facilitate their coexistence. Some of the most fascinating cases of the mutualism in nature are seen in the plant pollinator interactions. That is basically your plant and the wasp. Plant and the wasp. Okay. So that's it for today's lecture. And thank you so much, students. All the notes will be available in Telegram. Right. Right. All the notes will be available in Telegram. And you will see everything very soon. So let me know in the chat which is the next lecture you need. Okay, I believe let's go with ecology, right? Let's go with ecology next. Okay, and let me know in the comment section how was today's lecture, and let me tell you, students, where you can get the notes. I've always shown you, but let me show you one more time. If you go to the description, okay, it's not here, but okay, it's not here right now, but all of you know this thing, right? All of you know there is something called as your treasure box. I will add the link in the description of treasure box. Click on the link of treasure box. Entire notes of every single chapter of every single series. It could be Tattva, it could not Tattva, it could be your line by line series, it could be RNA series, it could be Tejas series. Everything is available in the treasure box. So go download those notes very soon. And thank you so much, students, for today's class. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care, all of you. And